I'm going to do a short demonstration on how to use the Texture Magic and a layered effect with different colors to make it look like the paint is chipping away. And this is an old fence board that someone was going to throw away. So I'm going to sand it down with my orbital sander, and then we'll proceed to the next step. Okay, and as you can see, I've got it sanded, and I didn't take all of that off. I wanted to leave some of that on there. And this is really going to look cool because of the knot here that we've got. And then I'm going to leave the nail hose on there. I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to leave the whole board. And I think what I may do is use Miss Lillian's image transfer. Find me a transfer that I want to put on here. So we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I'm ready to mix up the Texture Magic, and I'm going to start with the onyx first. And as you can see in the cup, the lighting is not really great, but right there, that's about all the paint that I put in. And then I'm going to take, or what I did is I took some water and I put about 3 mists of water in there, just about like that right there. And I stirred that up. And then I'm going to take about a half a tablespoon of Texture Magic, and I'm going to mix that up right quick and see how thick it is. Okay, with what I had with the paint, the onyx in the cup, like I showed you on the side, it took about 2 tablespoons of Texture Magic to get the consistency that I like to pounce it on. And that's about it right there. You want it a little bit thicker than cake batter. I don't want it running off. It's kind of hard to show with one hand. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to the up and down pouncing and mushing method that I use, and be right back. Okay, I've got it ready, and I've got it, I just load my brush up. Boy, you can tell that's an old brush. And two, with different projects, you're going to find that probably the more you play with Texture Magic and use it, there's going to be times that you're going to want it thinner. So it's just going to depend on what you're doing and what your likeness is. But for this application, I wanted it pretty thick. And then I'm just going to pick out areas that I want it, and then I'm going to pounce it up and down to get the peaks that I want. And then you want high and low peaks, and I'm going to spread it around. I'm not going to cover the whole board in the black. I'm just going to move it around in different areas. And I'm going to do that, and I'll be back. And we'll go to the next step. Okay, I've got that all on, and I actually had enough left, and I had this ugly gold frame, so I'm just going to do an application on there as well. And I should probably use a brush to do this, but anyway, I use my fingers a lot for stuff. And I'm just going to kind of spread it out in areas, and then I'm going to wait. As you can see, I've got high peaks and low peaks. And I'm going to let that almost dry, and then I'm going to drag those peaks down with a dry brush. And then I'll show you the effect that we've got whenever we get through with that. But see, I like this here in some areas, and it may show whenever I do the next step. Okay, and we'll wait for this to dry. Okay, instead of waiting for that to dry, I thought I'd just go ahead and do another step. And this is the pyramid gold, and I didn't mix up near as much as I did with the onyx. And as you can see, I left it a little bit runnier than that. So we'll put this on and be right back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. You can really tell with the peaks here. And some of it I'm going to put over the black, and then some I'm not. Or the onyx. It's not going to take as much of this as it did the onyx. But as you can see, I'm just more or less just pouncing it up and down to get the peaks that I'm looking for. And we're going to let that dry, and then we'll proceed to the next step. And as you can see, I've kind of drug it over the black in areas. And the more you play with it, the more that you're going to find your techniques that you're going to like or dislike. So I'm going to mix up another color, and we'll go on to that one. Okay, for this color, I've mixed up just Ducky. and didn't mix up near the amount that I did for the other two, just a little. And it's about the same consistency as it was for the Pyramid Gold. And I'm going to pounce it in the other areas, but it's going to lead into some of the onyx and the Pyramid Gold. You can see I'm going to kind of drag that as well over some of the areas. You know what? I haven't done this yet because I think I'm going to use the wax bar in here as well. So I'm going to have to completely let this dry, and then we'll proceed to that step. I need a little bit more of the Just Ducky in areas though, I believe. So we're going to do that. We're going to let it completely dry. Then I'm going to use the wax bar, put just paint with no Texture Magic mixed in with it. Okay, it all seems to be almost dry, so I'm going to go ahead and show y'all what I'm going to do now. As I'm just taking, I didn't write the name on the bottle here that I put my paint in, so I can't remember exactly what color this is, but I'll see if I can't figure that out. It was one of, I don't think it was Italian lace, but it was more on the creamy side, and I just wanted it really thin, so I squirted some water in it, and I'm just more or less dry brushing it in areas like that. And then I'm going to use the sterling, so I'm going to get that ready and we'll do that step. Okay, I'm not even really changing brushes, and I'm not going to wait for the cream color to dry, and I'm just going to come right in with the sterling. And I have also, before I started putting the cream color of Miss Lillian's chalk paint on, I rubbed the wax bar across it, different directions, no real pattern, just went different directions so that it would come off whenever we sand it this time, to kind of give it the chippy look. And as you can see, I'm not going to saturate the board or do a complete coverage of this color. And we're going to do this, and I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll sand it. See what we got. Okay, this is what we have so far. It's dried, and as you can see, I've sanded just a little bit right here. And I'm going to finish sanding and then come back, because I don't want to run the video while I'm sanding because it's pretty loud. So I'm going to sand it, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I'm all done. I went ahead and sanded. The cream color had dried, so I went ahead and sanded, and as you can see, this is the result. I really do like it. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I think I'm going to maybe add a wax or a glaze. I can't quite decide yet. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed.